here is another absolutely massive texture shift. This time it is on a Bax Caliber. You can see just how shifted that bad boy is. That is a really nice shift. What's going on today, guys? We have a massive box from Japan full of cards and mostly errors, mostly texture errors actually. And if we take a little bit of a closer look here, this box is gonna be chock full of, it's gonna be like envelopes, I believe. Oh wow. Maybe not necessarily envelopes, but just kind of, I guess it's just kind of out on its own. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Must be a bonus somebody added in. But anyway, we're gonna get right into all of these, and I think I'm gonna open them up off camera and just kind of show you what's inside. I think that'll be easier. So we're starting strong with this first error. I believe it is a Annihilate. Well, if we take a look at the one on the left compared to the one on the right, you can see that the one on the right is actually missing its texture. Most of the time I like to go after the texture shifted versions of these cards, but one missing the texture is actually even cooler to me. I kind of like that a lot. And I'm assuming as a bonus they added in this Charizard, I don't even know, like, mouse pad? I'm not sure what this is. It's like a little washcloth or something. But I guess they just added this in as a bonus because I did not purchase this, but it is kind of neat, kind of different. And next up we have, this is a base set Charizard. And I believe, yeah, there's not actually any errors going on here. This is just a normal base set Charizard. I originally bought it because I felt like it was in pretty decent shape, and it does look to be in pretty good shape, so maybe I'll send this in for grading someday. I'm not sure. Next up is actually yet again another non-error. These are just really cool Heart Gold, Soul Silver promos. I believe there were 6 promos in the set that all had the Heart Gold, Soul Silver logos there under the Pokemon, and Chikorita is one of them. Finally getting to one of our error cards here. This is it's just very so slightly hollow shifted Aerodactyl. As we can tell, it is shifted up, and you can see some of that whitening around the top edge of Aerodactyl there. This card is actually known for the minor hollow shifts that we see like this, but this is more of a severe one, I would say. There's a lot of smaller ones that we see, but this one's not too bad. Here we have a couple small texture shifts. I believe this one is shifted down. Yes, you can tell the shading with the stars and everything is very shifted there. And this guy has a little bit of a texture shift as well, though it's going to be a little difficult for me to show it in this lighting that I have here. You'll just have to take my word for it. Here we have another Aerodactyl, but this one, instead of having a little shift, which it has a tiny shift, but most of them do, this actually has a nice little hollow bleed. Basically, you're able to see the hollow shine through parts of the card where it shouldn't, especially on that bottom part there. Let me see if I can manipulate the light to make it look a little better. There we go, I turned off one of my lights. I think you can see it a little better now. It's always hard to capture these on camera, but this is a pretty decent one. And we have our first miscut of the day. We have a miscut base set Ninetales. This thing is in pretty sad shape, to be honest, as far as condition, but it is a very good miscut, which we don't see very often in Japanese. We can see the start of the next card at the bottom there, and if I turn around to the back side, you can see the start of the next card a little better, actually. But like I said, a little sad that the condition is rough on this bad boy, but a very nice addition into my collection. Here is the next miscut of the day. We have a Wooloo, and it is showing actually some edge of sheet on this side. That's why it looks white over there. If we flip it over to the back, you can see that edge of sheet a lot better. Believe it or not, I actually find a couple of these with edge of sheet. I find that the edge of sheet miscuts are more common to find than a normal miscut with cards like these for some reason. And to run back what I said, here is actually another one, edge of sheet miscut. This one is a Rockruff, I believe. And again, flip it around to the back, has that same edge of sheet. I actually got this from the same seller, so there's a good chance that these came from the same sheet. Next up, we have a base set Venusaur. This guy I just bought because it looked pretty clean, and I believe it is pretty clean, so this is another contender for grading, so we'll see what this bad boy grades. I would guess probably an 8 or 9 at least, maybe a 10 if we're lucky. Nothing crazy here, just another little mini texture shift on this Toad School? Toad School? Yeah, Toad School, that's what it's called. Here's a base set Blastoise. This one I also bought for grading, but the condition was a lot worse than I had anticipated. There's a bunch of scuffing and scratching down here on the card. So this one probably won't be going in for grading. Another small texture shift. This one is on a Slowbro. You can see it a lot better, like I said, in the shadow of the cards. If you look at the top, the shadow of the stars, I mean, if you look at the top edge, you can see there is no texture up there where it is shifted down, but just a little mini one. We have a lot of small texture shifts in this bunch. Here we have a Thunderous. Again, this has a small texture shift, though this one's actually not too bad. This one's pretty decently noticeably shifted to the right, which is normally we see it shifted down or to the left, so to the right's kind of different. Here we have another texture shift. This one's a bit more noticeable, shifted to the right side. Again, I actually got it from the same seller as the Tornadus, so or the Thunderous. I'm not sure which one that one was, but it came from the same seller, so it's about the same amount of shifted, honestly. And we have another texture shift. This one is on a Bisharp. This one is more shifted downward, kind of downward maybe to the left a bit. Again, just another small shift. Like I said, we got bunches of them in here. Up next, we have some Southern Island Slowking. I really like the artwork and love the reverse holo like this. These are another one that are just, I thought maybe sending him in for grading or dependent on the conditions. So, conditions not terrible, but we'll see. I just like how they look. Now, finally, we have a monster size shift. I believe this guy is called Reller or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but we can see this is a massive shift compared to some of the other ones that I had picked up. We can see to shift it to the left, and then to the right here, there is that blank space which would have been in between the cards, and that is the texture from the next card over, actually. Super cool texture shift. I love picking ones up like this, and this one's gonna go right into the collection. And here is another absolutely massive texture shift. This time it is on a Baxcalibur. You can see just how shifted that bad boy is. That is a really nice shift. Honestly, the Reller, or whoever that was even larger of a shift, but I like this Pokemon better, so this one's cooler to me. And Jungle Victory Bell, with a little bit of OC or off-center going on here. Not the greatest off-center card, but I always looking for more off-center cards to add into the Japanese collection. Next up, we have a small little shift Palmot, I believe, and a small texture shift Smoliv? Is it a Smoliv or a Dolliv? I think a Smoliv. I'm not so up to date on the new Pokemon names. I try my best, but I'm not fully up to date. Next up, we have a nicely OC Jungle Flareon. Had to pull it out of that sleeve. That was kind of a gross sleeve, but this guy is pretty nicely OC. And honestly, in pretty good condition as well, so I can't complain about this one. And I think I have Deja Vu going on. Here's another OC Flareon. And I believe these came from the same seller too, so that makes a lot of sense. Both of these pretty nicely OC, and both in the pretty much the same shape. Next up, we have 4 base set Blastoises. I'm not too worried about having these in a sleeve because they're all actually damaged. So the listing actually only showed 1 Blastoise, but like in the fine print they said there was 4. So when I looked at the pictures, they did actually show them one at a time, all 4 Blastoise. So I got all 4 for the price of 1 damaged one. So 4 damaged Blastoise for the price of 1, not too terrible. And next up, we have some cards from the vending sheets here. These are some extra rules. I think they made different rules to make the game a little more fun, I guess. And then there are some, I believe these are like set lists that show the different vending series cards and where they came from, or I'm not exactly sure. I can't read it. But I thought the artwork on these extra rules is kind of cool. And last but not least, I actually bought some of these. They are, I believe they're like Pop Series packs, but there's only 2 cards inside each one. Sometimes there's only 1. Maybe there's only 1 card inside. And they just have, you can find random cool cards. Most of the time they have a little Pokemon card gym logo on the corner. And yeah, they're just kind of like the Pop Series packs that we see, or the Pokemon Play, the new style. But I think, you know what? I think I'll open one of these up. I'll open one of these up because we got a ton of them. and we'll see what's inside together, I suppose. Not sure what you can even get out of these, if there's anything good. There might be some good stuff you can get out of them. Like I said, I don't really know. And we have a Togetic, so that's kind of different. And like I said, it has the Pokemon Card Gym logo on the far right side there, so that makes it kind of cool. Definitely a promo in its own right. And as a little extra bonus, the seller also added in a mini Darkrai coin, so that's kind of a cool extra touch. I like that. And that is it, folks. We are done. You're lucky I spared you the opening up all of these envelopes. Every single one of those cards was packed in an envelope, and most of them had top loaders, sleeves, tape, lots of stuff. So opening these up took a lot longer than the video, so I tried to make it a little faster, a little more streamlined for you to watch. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time for some more Pokemon content.